But I hate to say it, but owner error is the #1 cause of weight problems in animals in the United States. It's kind of funny when you hear, or when I hear clients come in and say, gosh, my dog just loves to eat and eat and eat. My dog just has a ravenous appetite. My cat is such a food hound. And we've already ruled out health concerns, so we kind of have to look at the owner. And I always have to stop myself from saying, your dog has a big appetite, or you feed them and feed them so that it appears that they'll just keep eating. When we have a pet, when we have a cat and we have a dog, we control their food intake. They should never be in control of how much food they have. That's a really important thing to listen to here. I do know that free feeding is popular among people that may not realize that that's not a good thing to do. We talked last webinar, about the problems with quantification of free feeding. You cannot quantify in case they get sick and your doctor asks, well, how much food are they intaking? How much water are they consuming? You can't really know because you're free feeding. Free feeding also causes another problem. While many owners will say, but my dog can handle how much. I put the big bowl of food down and they just pick at it and they're fine. They don't eat it all in one sitting. Well, you may not know what they're doing while you're gone. If you have an 8-hour workday, they could really be going back and snacking quite a bit. And if you fill up a bowl that's a regular medium-sized stainless steel bowl, that's quite a bit of food. Quite a bit of food. So let's go over some of the causes of weight gain. #1 is human error. That's really, really important that we learn to accept this. It is really easy in humans to say, well, maybe I have a thyroid problem. Maybe I have some other endocrine problem. I have stress. I'm an emotional eater. There really are legitimate reasons. But again, there's adaptation with humans. Humans have a lot more sociological confrontations. Dogs do not. Cats do not. Cats are not emotional eaters. Dogs are not stress eaters. You control that food. Second, not enough exercise. This is a big one, especially with dogs, and especially with people and owners who don't have a whole lot of time during the week. And that's understandable. You work all week. You go to school all week. There's stuff that's got to go on. However, you should try to make that time, just to give your dog a 30-minute walk. An hour of exercise a day is key, really. #3, free feeding. I just kind of gave my rant about that, but that is one of those where with cats, people often will say, I never free feed my dog, but I leave a bowl of food out for my cats. Here's what I want to go over real quick. Think of the size of a cat's stomach or a dog's stomach. A cat's stomach is maybe that big, maybe. A dog's stomach, depending on size, got about that big going on. So when you put down an entire can of Wellness, one of the short cans, your cat may not have that appetite like a Labrador and may pick at that food. But something that cats are, when they're bored, they will eat. Now, remember when we talked about cats being obligate carnivores, and in the wild, cats don't eat every single day. Cats will forage for food and hunt. Now, of course, these are domesticated cats, and they're on a schedule where they do eat every day, several times a day. That's fine. That's what we've bred them to be. However, they are still not wired to eat whenever they want. That takes away carnal instinct of who they are. And it's really important to have them on a schedule. So if you're going to have a cat who's, let's say, a 10-pound cat, and your doctor says that's a great weight for that cat, go over, how much should I be feeding this cat then? A quarter can in the morning, quarter can in the evening, quarter can in the afternoon. Talk to your doctor, talk to your licensed veterinary technician about what the proper consumption is. Same thing with dogs. And we'll go over this a little bit later, but the feeding guidelines on the bag are just the starting point. They should never be what you live the golden rule by. Each dog is an individual. They give you a range of weight and what's appropriate for that weight. That's a great place to start. It's much better than free feeding, but it's still always a good idea just to check in with your veterinarian and say, is this an appropriate amount for my specific pet? And let's see. Overfeeding. This is a big one as well. This kind of goes hand in hand with free feeding though, but measuring food is so important. I have often heard clients say, I never really grasped what a cup of food should be for my dog. I just eyeballed it. And then when I actually got a pet food measuring cup, my goodness, a cup wasn't what I was feeding at all. So it's really important. And, if you go to a lot of really great pet festivals or pet days, for instance, Seattle, we have Paws Walk every September. We have Fido Fest every September. We have the Furry 5K every June. We also have a ton others, but these places have vendors that will come and they will give out free, like Science Diet has these wonderful measuring cups. You can even get them, request them at your veterinary office, and they're free. They're giveaways that measure up to, I think, 2 cups. And, no dog really should be getting more than that at one sitting unless otherwise specified by your veterinarian or technishon. But this really is an important tool to have. There's also scoops. I know Mud Bay sells great scoops. All the Best Pet Care sells scoops. Even PetSmart, Petco, these places have measuring cups. $2, $1. Measure your pet's food, okay? Next, over-treating. Now, this one can be a sensitive one. Over-treating and overfeeding can often go hand in hand, and they're often a result of something else going on with the owner. A lot of times my clients will come in when we have a nutrition consult or a nutrition exam, and they'll say, I don't get to spend a lot of time with my dog, so I treat a little bit more when I come home. Or I don't get to spend a whole lot of time with my cat, so I buy these Friskies party packs of food. Or I give my dog sausages because she loves them, or table scraps. And I've got to say, it's not my place to judge the owner. It's no one's place to judge how you treat your dog if it's coming from the heart, if you have good intentions. And especially if you have some other issues going on, like some guilt, some depression about not spending time with the dog or the cat. That's your business, okay? But what I am saying is, think about why you're treating this dog. And in terms of treating, I mean with treats. Why are you giving 8 treats at a time instead of 2, the recommended amount? Why are we giving half a slice of pizza when we have a fresh cup of broccoli in the fridge? And I know some people will laugh at that. But my point here is what we put into our dogs and cats' mouths is very important. First of all, dogs and cats were never made to eat pizza or Kobe beef steak or anything like that. There are specifically formulated things that dogs' bodies recognize. Vegetables, that's a big one. My dog, Caleb Ray, I had him since a puppy, since 3 months old, training to take food nicely. What I would do was I would put it on a fork, so if he bit down too hard, he'd get a little poke. And when I gave it to him, I say, gentle. And the treat that I used was green beans, fresh green beans. He has grown to be a green bean addict. He loves green beans. Same thing with Abigail, same thing with Tucker. They love green beans. They love carrots in moderation because those have a lot of sugar. But they love lettuce. They love celery. My guys love this stuff. So I say to those owners that there are other ways. Rice cakes, plain rice cakes. And what I also tell them, because they'll say, well, they still seem hungry or they don't want it. If your dog is too good for a rice cake, they're not hungry. Let that be your mantra. If they're too good for a rice cake, they don't need to eat. And another thing too with the over-treating them, that's a sign of a poorly trained owner in a lot of cases. I know a couple who has a dog, and every time the dog looks at them a certain way, they get up and run to the treat cabinet, get a treat, and then come back and give it to the dog. And I just think, what did that dog do to deserve the treat, though? You have to earn your food. Dogs are used to this. A well-trained dog is a happy dog. So when the dog just looks at them a certain way or spins around, because he's getting excited and wasn't asked to do that, they run over, grab the treat, come back, and it's in his mouth. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What that does say is that dog has you trained. And then the last thing is denial, and that goes in with a lot of different things. Again, it's not my place or anybody's place to tell you you're in denial, to tell you you have an issue that's going deeper, but it is your place as the owner to look within yourself and ask, am I doing the right thing?